Well, hey fans, welcome. I am trying something new today. This is going to be how I do my top 10s from now on. Instead of just a post, I figure I might as well do a little podcast about it. And this one is about the top 10 Best Picture nominees for the 94th Academy Awards, which is tomorrow. So I needed to hurry up and get this out there. But I had seen a few before, and I decided to rewatch the ones I had seen and those I haven't seen with my wife, so we could go ahead and get this list out. But yeah, go ahead and get started with a little bit of trivia. I love every year when certain actors appear in more than one Best Picture. That's like, wow, you did a good job. And this year there were a few. You got Cate Blanchett, who appears in Don't Look Up and Nightmare Alley. You got Ron Perlman, who also appears in Don't Look Up and Nightmare Alley. You got Bradley Cooper, who appears in Nightmare Alley and Licorice Pizza. And Timothée Chalamet, who appears in Don't Look Up and Dune. And as a little special notice, Leonardo DiCaprio, while he only appears in Don't Look Up, his father, George DiCaprio, makes his feature film debut in Licorice Pizza, which I thought was very cool. So now this top 10 list is going to be my top 10 choices, who I think had the worst Best Picture and who I think had the Best Picture, with number one meaning the film I think should win the award, and 10 being the one that I just didn't like as much. So, go ahead and get started. Number 10, Licorice Pizza, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, starring Alana Haim and Cooper Hoffman. That I just didn't understand where this film was going. I was kind of really into it at first, but as the more the story went on, I just felt like it was about nothing. The plot didn't make sense to me. It was just weird and boring, and I don't really think it deserved a Best Picture slot, but here it is. It is up there. Number 9, The Power of the Dog, directed by Jane Campion, starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Cody Smith-McPhee. This is one during award season all last year when we were getting our screenings. You kept hearing a lot about Power of the Dog, Power of the Dog. This is going to be a contender, and apparently it is. It's like in the top spot to win, I believe. But I remember watching it and thinking, like, this is okay. It's just some old western with a cowboy who's struggling with his homosexual urges, I guess. It is beautifully shot. The cinematography is great, but I just thought the story was kind of meh. Number 8, West Side Story, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Rachel Zegler and Ansel Elgort. Now, I've never seen the original West Side Story. I just know some of the songs that come from it, and I decided to watch this with my wife. We were actually supposed to go on a date to watch it when it came out in theaters, but it just never happened. And we finally saw it, and yeah, it was fine. It was enjoyable. The songs were cute. Once again, beautifully shot. I love the casting with actual Hispanic actors. That made a lot of sense. And there was a lot of troubled stuff coming out around this film because of the allegations against Ansel Elgort, and I think they made the right move deciding to ignore those kinda and being like, this will blow over, because I'm not getting into anything about it, but it didn't need to affect the film per se. But yeah, I thought it was just okay. I think I'll probably prefer to watch this one over the original one. If they have this one, why go back and watch the old one, in my opinion. Number 7, Nightmare Alley, directed by Guillermo del Toro, starring Bradley Cooper and Rooney Mara. Stat cast in this, I think Cate Blanchett also appears, like I mentioned, Ron Perlman, Willem Dafoe, a bunch of other names. And it's a very interesting story. This is one I actually did see in theaters, and I remember going to see it, and I was like, this probably won't get nominated for anything, but I really love Guillermo del Toro, so I want to check it out. So I actually tweeted about this one, and I put, #Nightmare Alley is just okay. It starts off as one thing and then ends as something else. The runtime is way too long and feels even longer. However, I did enjoy the story del Toro was telling, as every detail was necessary by the end. Lastly, Cate Blanchett is amazing, and yes, she is. And watching it the second time, yes, I really actually do enjoy the story. I do feel like they could have cut it down somewhat. It is interesting to see. Hey, congrats, he got a Best Picture nom for it. I think If they incorporated some kind of like time travel weird element to the end, I would have loved it a lot more, especially with what happened with Bradley Cooper's character. Number 6. So, Dune, directed by Denis Villeneuve, starring Timothée Chalamet and Rebecca Ferguson. Once again, another stacked cast. You got Oscar Isaac in there, Jason Momoa, David Dastmalchian, so many other names we're not going to go over. It'll take up all the time. But this is another one I saw in theaters, and I didn't see it in theaters. I got a screener for it, and I watched it with the family at home, I think is how it happened. Or did I see it in theaters? I don't remember. But the first time I saw Dune, I tweeted about it, of course. I said, hashtag Dune is a better Star Wars movie than The Last Jedi. Beautifully shot, well acted, and a bit of a slow burn. Denis focuses more on storytelling than spectacle. Review coming soon. And then, of course, I posted my review, which, of course, I tweeted out. Dune 2021 is full of terrific performances, an awesome score, beautiful visuals and presentation, and lore that is worth exploring deeper. To boot, it is a better Star Wars film than the entire sequel trilogy. Check out the full review below, and of course, make sure you go check that out. But yeah, those are basically my overall thoughts on the film. Just great to look at, great to listen to. It was a weird cut at the end. It should have ended a little sooner. But I'm excited to see Dune Part 2, and I hear they're actually trying to make a Dune Part 3 now. So, yes. Number 5, Belfast, directed by Kenneth Branagh, starring Jude Hill. I love learning about stuff in films, and Belfast was one that explored the troubles in Northern Ireland with the United Kingdom. And Jude Hill, the little star, he is a lovable little kid. I love when you take like something that's very dark and put it through a kid's eyes, kind of like what Taika Waititi did with Jojo Rabbit. It's very similar here, but not as dark because, you know, it's not the Holocaust. But just very fun to watch. It is completely in black and white, save for when they go to the movies and watch a color film like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Well directed. Kenneth Branagh does a great job. And the funny thing is, the first time I even heard about the Troubles, I believe Liam Neeson was talking about it. I was like, what are the Troubles? And for now to see a movie about it, it's just great to learn things. Number 4, Don't Look Up, directed by Adam McKay, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. When I first saw this, I was like, dude, this should win Best Picture. It is hilarious. It is fun. It has just a stacked cast. Jonah Hill's in it. Just Ron Perlman, like I said before, so many people. Ariana Grande and Kid Cudi. I actually tweeted about Don't Look Up, and my tweet is, Don't Look Up is a damn good movie. Watch it, it's almost prophetic. And yes, it is just phenomenal. It is hilarious. Some people say it is not subtle enough in its message, in which people think it's about climate change, and I guess it is, just like all the science is there, but people don't believe it. I just thought it was like a fun meteor movie where you have a government and stupid people who just don't want to believe it. It's about, for me at least, the divide between this nation right now, that no matter what the topic is, people are going to be divided on it when we shouldn't. And that's what I got from it. I didn't even know about climate change until like weeks after I had watched it, but I thought it was very enjoyable, very funny performances. I laughed throughout the entire time, and I think I've seen it actually 3 times. Good job, Netflix, overall. Great job. Number 3, Drive My Car, directed by Ryusuke Hamaguchi, starring Hidetoshi Nishijima and Toko Miura. Now, this one, once again, in my critics groups, when all the screeners were going out, I heard a lot of good things about Drive My Car. The only international feature I had seen before then was Lamb from Iceland. And I'm like, okay, let me get into this one. What's up with it? And they're like, dude, it's almost 3 hours long. I was like, what? So yeah, me and my wife broke it up into like 4 different viewing times, which I normally don't like to do, but just to make it work, we had to. And the beginning is a little weird, which I'm going to call the prologue, actually, because the film starts after this whole thing happens with his wife. But once you get into the actual story, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. And I'm used to watching a lot of anime, so I'm fine with subtitles. And yeah, the story is really sweet. It is really honorable. The performances are fantastic, I believe. as normal, these actors and this director, once you win an American Award, because I'm pretty sure it will win Best International Feature, you're probably going to start seeing them show up in more American movies, and if not, more of their movies will be playing in American theaters. But definitely check it out. It is graphic, but since it's from Japan, you know, they're very modest with how they hide nudity and stuff like that. But very, very good film. Number 2, King Richard, directed by Reynaldo Marcus Green, starring Will Smith. Another film, I actually saw it like when it came out. This is one of those films I made sure I wanted to see. Will Smith is overdue for an Oscar. His performance in this is just fantastic. It is amazing. I actually tweeted about this one as well. Hashtag King Richard is a beautiful love letter to Richard Williams Jr. from his daughters, who feel that he is not honored as much in their success as he should be. Check out the full review below. Just a wonderful film. It brings tears to the eyes. You get to see how these girls from Compton became the best tennis players in the world, hands down. Sex, gender, no matter what, they are the best, and it is all thanks to the plan that their dad set for them. And you get to see about his troubles, his trials, the things that he did wrong, and how everybody around him felt he was doing things wrong, but he somehow made it work. And it's just a great picture, something that is definitely recommended to buy and own in your household, especially if you have daughters. Number 1, Coda, directed by Cian Heder, starring Amelia Jones. This film is just fantastic. This film is just wonderful. I watched it with my wife, and like up until like we watched this one, my wife was like, you know, all of these Oscar movies are just so depressing. And I was just thinking about it, I was like, oh wow, yeah, like somebody dies in like every film we've watched. But this one was so uplifting, and it's about this deaf girl who is kind of tired of translating for her family all the time, because she's in her family, her mom, her dad, her brother, she's the only one who can actually hear. But of course, since she's with them, she knows how to sign, so she does all the translating for them, and it's just very fun to watch. I love the story. She loves to sing. She wants to sing. Her family can't hear her sing, but her teacher sees something in her and thinks she should pursue this, and it's great. Like after watching this film, my wife and I, we were like, we should learn sign language. I want to learn sign language. It'd be great to be able to talk to each other without people, unless they know sign language, know what we're talking about, like in public. But yes, it's a great family. This is a great, fun flick that the entire family can enjoy. It definitely should win Best Picture. Bravo, Apple. Bravo to the entire cast. So those are my picks for the Best Picture nominees for the 94th Academy Awards. Make sure that you guys tune into the ceremony, and we will see who wins. Hopefully it is Coda, but if it is Power of the Dog, so be it. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. You can watch this video on YouTube and the website flipfrogllc.com/flixfrog. And please listen, like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, anything with Flipfrog LLC, Flipfrog Books, Flixfrog, anything. Make sure that you like and subscribe. We need to up our numbers. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.